now. So what I wanted to talk about is in life, we're all programmers or somewhere related to the computer and programming and machine language, human language, how, what is a higher level language? Ram, what is a high level language? What's a low level language, Ram?
Understand பண்ணிக்கிறதெல்லாம் வந்து low level language, நம்ம அடிக்கிறது high level language.
What an answer. Absolutely right. Absolutely right. So low level language is machine level. Machine only understand low level language. Man understand only high level language. Why low high is because man is high, they're given high, I think, but that's what it is. So we use programming languages to communicate with them. So C na lower high, no high language, C sharp na higher lower na, there's a description for each. So basically, as a human, I say something, and there is something in between needed to make the machines understand, right? That is what called something in between that we use. There are so many things that we use. The same way, we as a human being are having few things in our body that understands in a different way. Specifically today, I wanted to talk about human brain. We think something, we want to do something, and how it reacts in the brain is totally a chemistry, totally filled with chemicals. Okay, it will be interesting and it will be good. So there are a lot of neuroscientists, people who work with brain and studies of all that, how much they actually say understanding these chemicals that are generated in the brain for each area will help us control our mood swing, our personality and all that we do. Okay, and this is a real brain. Actually, it's a process, kind of brain that is inside a specimen here. Different parts of the brain, like for moods and memory and all that we know. Different parts of the brain stores different, acts as a different things of thing, but it is all operated by chemicals. I'm going to talk about few chemicals that will be helpful for us in understanding how these chemicals help us in understanding our mood, basically understanding ourselves, right? If the mood is not right, we feel the day is gone. If mood is not right for continuously, oh, this person is bad. So the personality is defined. It is basically in the house. If your mood is not right, there's no happiness. Basically, happiness, mood, and the chemical behind it is all connected. So I thought quickly I'll talk about that. Probably it will be useful for some of us. And it is not something that very different that I'm going to talk. We would have come across this in many places, including our textbooks in the schools. And a little bit of understanding as an adult, because when we studied, we just studied for marks, right? But let us understand a little bit for our life, how these chemicals influence our mood and also finally our health, right? Good. I'm going to talk about 4 chemicals. Dopamine. It's also called the reward chemical. Okay, the dopamine is also called a reward chemical. This chemical, whenever there is a reward is given, whenever there is something that brain understand that is rewarding to the brain, or it thinks it's rewarding, then this chemical is produced in the brain. Okay, and that is called dopamine. And dope, have you heard about dope? What is a dope?
Ganja.
Okay, so that is what it is. Okay, and so it's a reward. So people who are addicted to dope and so on, they're kind of externally taking it to feel that they feel. Have you ever seen a person like Ram said? Have you ever seen a person who's taken ganja?
Marijuana.
He'll be like happy, right? He'll be like on the high and so on. So this particular chemical that is generated in the brain called dopamine, it's called reward chemical. Okay, I'll talk about other chemicals and then finally we'll also have few suggestions in there. Oxytocin is a hormone. Of course, the chemicals, hormones are the one actually produces the chemical. And it's a love hormone. Okay, it's a love hormone. It's another chemical. Okay, look at the Arun sir only can understand. C43H66, N12, O12, S2, all that is complicated a chemical is this. This is called a love chemical. Okay, whenever you feel, wherever there is no oxytocin, you feel depressed. Okay, so we need to create opportunities for this chemical to be produced in our body so that we feel loved. Okay, that is what the next chemical is. The third chemical is,
That's why they say love is complicated.
what is that?
And that's why they say love is complicated, Daniel.
Oh,
That chemical is so much
great
complicated.
point. I have not thought about it, but probably is. Okay. Somebody can read it. This is like a tongue twister, serotonin or something like that. And serotonin is a chemical that helps in mood stabilizing. Okay, and obviously we'll know in what kind of places it's reduced. Whenever there is no when this chemical is not produced in our brain, then we feel out of control. We feel like shouting this thing, that thing. No, don't have control over our brain. So finally, the fourth chemical that I want to talk about is endorphin. Okay, endorphin is a painkiller. Okay, and whenever this is not produced, our body pains, and we take external now painkillers to make sure that the body is not paining and all this. Okay, finally, to come back to my original slide on this, see, we understand something and we do something to make sure that the machine also understands the same way. Okay, the same way we have a machine inside our body, a brain, a highly intelligent brain, a machine, and we need to tell it to our brain in some ways the way it understands. Okay, that is why all these chemicals, because our brain doesn't understand I'm happy, sad, this and that doesn't understand. When based on the oxytocin that is produced in the brain, that's how it oh, this is produced, so I'm happy, I'm sad. That is why the people say, now try to recreate this thing. Whenever you feel sad, try to rethink of the happy moment that you had in your life, and it will be helpful and so on. Okay, so understanding this quickly, this is my last slide also. Let us go one by one. Dopamine, oxytocin, serotonin, and endorphin. Okay, see, when we know that wherever there is a dopamine, we feel rewarded. Okay, then do a reverse engineering. Whenever there is a reward, there is a dopamine is actually produced. How can we do it? So then we are kind of decoding and doing reverse engineering. Whenever you feel a complete task, the energy, the chemical that is produced is what dopamine. So if we want more dopamine into our body, that's why whenever we sometimes when we in exam times, if you have seen, we feel overeating, right? When we feel not studied well, we'll be overeating. Even sometimes when we are stressed, we are overeating and so on, which means dopamine is not produced. That's why people are getting addicted to this and that, coffee, to and any other dopes and other things. They get addicted. Okay, basically a good learning from here is the third point, the fourth point in the dopamine. Celebrating little wins in our life helps us, our brain, to produce dopamine into the body, which means the body keeps the body understands, oh, this is rewarding. This is actually good things are happening into my life. No, people are recognizing me. The reason now in HR, Maslow's hierarchy of theory, you'd have all seen. The fourth level is a star level, which means a kind of an esteem level. Okay, the esteem level. People they're worried about what kind of brand they wear, what kind of brand they work for, what kind of brand food they eat on, how people see them and all that. It's kind of a more an esteem need. And here the dopamine is all the esteem needs that actually given to us produces dopamine. Okay, so in life we need to come up with opportunities to make sure that our brain is producing enough of dopamine. Okay, so the point here is eating proper food. Okay, doing self-care activities, making sure that you feel good. Most of the time we think we dress for others. No, actually, when you dress for yourself and when you feel that you're dressed well, that by itself produces dopamine into your brain. So that is why it is important. Okay, taking care of yourself and celebrating small wins. Okay, why completing a project or celebrating completing a project is important. Why celebrating a birthday is important? Why celebrating of any nature is important is because that produces a chemical that is very, very important for the body. Second thing, oxytocin. How can we do it? When you're feeling sad, that's what now you go to doctors. I'm feeling sad, this and that and all that. They'll say, do play with your baby, play with your dog, and now have people who can love you and so on. Okay, and that is exactly when you feel loved, when you feel that there is somebody. When you go home, your dog is with so happiness welcomes you, that produces this oxytocin in your brain. That is very, very important, so that your body also understands that you're happy. Okay, so that you're keeping the stress away, you're keeping all the unhappiness away from you. One quick thing, learning thing is, of course, you have a dog, you have a baby, and all that, it's good. See the third 3 points, holding hands. Actually, almost we stopped doing it right now. Usually when we are in school, we'll be holding hands with our friends and walk. When we were married, still we were holding hands. If we are not holding hands, don't think that holding hands is just for others to see. It is also your body to understand that you're happy and you have people to love you. And think about the fourth thing. When did you hug as a family? Do you do a family hug every day after your work or before your work? Vale is trying to write on the screen, maybe unknowingly. That's okay. So you may be using a touch screen, so that sometimes it happens too. That's okay. So right now, when I said Vale, there is something happened into his brain. No? That is a chemical reaction in body. That's because suddenly, in the class you are sleeping, a teacher is waking you up. How your brain understands, a chemical is actually produced. Okay, that is how it is. Good. And the family hug is one good recommendation that I might tell you when you go back and come home, or before you're going out, come together as a family, just hug. It will not only produce, creates a good bonding within yourself, or more than that, it creates the oxytocin in your brain, so that your brain and your body understands that you're happy and you have people to love. Okay, and the third thing is, can you see the third thing? Yeah. So okay, mood stabilizer. Of course, now whenever your mood is not stabilized, when you go to the doctor, exactly this is what they do: meditating, running, sun exposure. See, sun exposure, we think it only produces vitamin D. See, it also produces this chemical in the body that is very, very important for the body. Walk in the nature, swimming, cycling. See, all these are doable, we know, but we don't do. We think, I'm just not doing that, but we are stopping a chemical that is very important for our body, that is not produced, which can long way, we can create a lot of health problems. Okay, every time when the chemicals are not produced properly at the right time, then you get into a health problem. That is what finally happens. Okay, so the takeaway from here is, make sure that you are able to do something this on a regular basis. Today, I know one of my friends posted in the Facebook, she's walked for 5 kilometers for 1,000 consecutive days. For past 1,000 days, every day she walked for 5 kilometers. Okay, see what kind of mood stability she will have, a control, this feeling of itself, the body, feeling, the lightness of body and all that. So that was a big motivation for me also to do something like that. So one of these things, if you're able to do, we are able to produce that chemical. Finally, endorphin, the painkiller. See, whenever you feel the laughter, have you ever thought laughter can actually help you kill your pain? Whenever you feel pain in the body, maybe if you feel more pain in the body, maybe you need to think for yourself, maybe you never laughed for last some days, few days, but you never had a friends to watch, and comedy shows. You've not watched a comedy show. You've not been with Satik or Ram, so you did not laugh and so on. So it's better that you have people around you. You be the person who bring that laughter in people's life, so that it is not only just that moment, but also you help them produce an important chemical in their body that is fuelful for their health and for their mood also. Dark chocolate, something to eat finally, right? And some exercising also. So there are so many chemicals in the body that produces, that's how the body understands what we are and how we are and so on. But here, These four are produced in the brain. And if you go and actually study, this is just a quick outlay on this. Please go and actually search few of these things. If you think in any of these areas you have some problem, challenges, please go and search on that chemical and how neuroscience is connected, how your neurons, based on the stimulation that are given based on these chemicals, how this neuron works and creates active, and more importantly, it creates new cells. These chemicals, if you go and actually read it carefully, listen to any top motivational speakers, Tony Robbins, Robin Sherman, whoever, they'll be talking about these chemicals if you watch them. Because it's very, very important to make sure that you are a successful person, make sure that you are a stabilized person, make sure that you are you're achiever. These chemicals producing in the body are very, very important. So thank you so much for the opportunity. And it's a big topic, but I thought quickly, understanding this will be helpful in life. And I'll recommend that any of these few things, if you can do in life, it will be definitely useful for you and your family, and also as a work environment. Why so many annual day celebration, Fun Friday celebration? Why participating in such? See, finally, HR marketing on Tanadala. Okay, why participating in such things are important? It's not because somebody is calling you need to participate and so on. It is important that your body understands that you're happy. Sometimes we don't celebrate few small things. Oh, nothing happens in the life, it's going on and all that. It's bad. You're sending a bad signal to your body. Say, yes, I'm alive today. Yes, things are going good. When everything is out, not good, even during this COVID time, I am happy. My family is happy. I am healthful. Yes, I'm having small health problems, but I'm happy. I have a better control of my body and my mind and so on. Let us celebrate each small things, and so that we can live a happy and healthy life. Thank you so much.